Hey everybody, so it's going to be a really quick video just about what's going on with the tank. It's going to be pretty impromptu, very little editing, and I'm just going to upload it straight to YouTube. So basically what's going on is this is a 25-gallon Nuvo Fusion. It's on the third week of its cycle. It's almost done. I made a couple videos that I meant to post about it and I just never got around to it. Basically I'll just cover it all in this video. So what happened is I put in some raw shrimp. I let it cycle. Nothing was happening for like 2 weeks, like nothing, like no algae, no nothing. So I was like, well, maybe I'll throw in some bacteria. So I threw in some microblift, and then it just bloomed with bacteria like crazy. Maybe a little too much microblift was thrown in there, and maybe a few too many shrimps were put in there. And I was ghost feeding as well, so just a little bit too much ammonia. I was a little too excited to get this tank rolling, I guess. So be careful when you cycle. Don't add too much. And I only had one filter in the tank, which, kind of sucked. So I added another filter. I'll talk about that in a minute. But basically, that happened, and then I got a ton of hair algae after all the little diatoms went away. And now I'm here. So let me run you through what happened today. Is we basically went to the fish store. What I had before was just this Nuvo caddy basket back here. If I can even get it out, it's in there pretty tight because I got a piece of thing wedged in there. It's just floss pad, Chemipure blue, and then some CTM matrix. And I've got a suction cup on the back to keep it pushed up against it, and there's a matrix there on the bottom too. I just put a suction cup there to kind of like hold it in there because it kind of moves around. This one has no suction cup, and I'll show you what I mean by move around. Like this one, you can see it like, oop, yep, that's why I have a suction cup on the other one. I'll clean it up in a second. This one just has a filter floss on top and then all matrix. It's every single, the rest of it's matrix. And running no heater on this tank right now, so I don't want to be fishing it. I just don't want to invest in a heater right now. We do have the MJ 1200, I think is what it was, by Marineland. It runs so much quieter now. If you get it, guys, just give it a couple weeks to adjust. Just give it like 3 weeks. It's just super quiet now. Totally sleep with it, barely hear it. It's just, I love the pump. I absolutely love it. As you can see, some rocks from the 10-gallon were thrown in here for the help the cycle. Did that. This rock's been in there since like week 1. This rock was put in like a couple days ago, and this was put in today. So that's pretty much what's going on here. And there's actually Xenia in here, and it's kind of my test coral. As you can see, this Xenia has been in here since week 1, and it's been doing great right there. And then this Xenia down here was added a couple days ago, and I think it's just in a little too much current, but it got stung really bad in the 10-gallon by one of the leathers. It just got stung really hardcore, and I don't think it's like coming back very well. This one down here actually almost died off completely. So it just got stung really hardcore. That's unfortunate. And this thing I added today, and the lights have been off, so it's just now opening. I literally just turned the lights on. It's like 2 a.m. So that's why this one looks kind of funky. But hopefully this will grow back. This wasn't doing too well in the 10-gallon because it just wasn't, like, it was just too much light and there wasn't enough flow. It was just getting kind of cramped. And then this thing right here was added today as well, and it's a little bit too high flow. I'm going to move it tomorrow, I think. But right now it's just in here, and it's enjoying it. It's kind of closed up, but the lights are off and everything, so that's that. As you can see, the hair algae is horrendous in here. It is freaking wild, guys. It is nuts. It was all diatoms, and then all diatoms turned into hair algae, which isn't bad, but it's definitely not the best thing ever. So in order to combat that, I'm going to have to lower some of the phosphates in here. Hopefully that bacteria will definitely do that. And then down here, as you can see, we have one of our first hermit crabs. We have 2 hermit crabs in here total. They're kind of just my tester crabs. My first little test cleanup crew. There's one there. I don't even know where the second one is. They're pretty small. It's kind of hard to tell. He's probably on the rock somewhere. Here's another rock from the 10-gallon. I forgot about this one. It's put in the back. Put that in the other day. I don't even know where the other hermit crab is. This tank is so big, I feel like it's like hard to find them, because on the 10-gallon, you can just like look around and be like, oh, there's a hermit crab, there's a hermit crab, there's a hermit crab. And this tank's just big enough to where like you can't really do that. It's just kind of like either you see them or you don't. It's just really hard to find them. But as you can see, there's some algae growing on the glass still, so hopefully that'll all settle out pretty soon. And all these Xenias will be pretty happy. And what I went and got from the fish store, by the way, to combat the ammonia, as I bet a lot of you are probably wondering how I'm resolving that. Go into my mini fridge here. Got Microbacter 7 by Brightwell Aquatics. This is a great brand. I've used it before for freshwater. I've never really used their saltwater stuff, But basically, this is like a bunch of bacteria cultures, and there's a guy on YouTube. You can find his video. Maybe I'll link it in the description. Who knows if I can find it again. But he made a video about the bacteria in that bottle, and he sent it off to a lab, and they tested it and said the bacteria in there was alive in the bottle at purchase. And after a couple weeks in the tank, it still was alive, which is awesome. So I'm really happy with that product. I'm adding 5 mil every 2 days for this 1 week. That way I can just kind of push through this cycle pretty quickly. And that way all the matrix in the back here will get seeded really well, and then this tank will just be on its way. Because I'm trying to go all biological filtration in this tank. I'm gonna use carbon if I have to, but I'm right now I'm just kind of using carbon because it's like beginning of the cycle. And once we get all cycled up, I'm just gonna chuck out the carbon and try not to use it, because I know a buddy of mine that has the same tank, and all he runs is biological media and a little bit of roaphos in one of the middle chambers, and that's it. And I'd really like to, and he has a SPS tank with like bounce mushrooms and stuff like that as well, so I'd love to try and get my tank to his level. So that's what we're trying to do with this. The deep sand bed's doing really good too, by the way. There's some hair algae on it, but the hermit crabs will help clean it up, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see what else we got to talk about. That's basically really it. I mean, the Kessel's been doing good. It's been on like a 10-hour light cycle to get a little bit more algae than normal, just to kind of help the cycle a little bit. I'm gonna change it down a little bit. I'll show you guys inside the stand too what I got in here, just because like I'm assuming you might be curious about that. I don't know. Oh, I got to talk about this RO system pretty soon, by the way. I'll talk about it in this video in a minute. But I got all my chemicals in here, test kits and tubes and filter floss, my kalkwasser, some matrix, kick ick, stuff like that, purple up, some salt, and my RO system. So the RO system, okay, here's what's going on. So I had to put it on a board because if you pick it up by one of these things, it'll just pop off, and that sucks. So I almost broke it because that popped off and it almost fell, which is pretty close to being unfortunate. Basically, this is the Aquatic Life RO system. I made a video about it. A lot of people liked it. It's a great RO system. It's super cheap. I mean, it's literally dirt cheap. It's like the cheapest RO system I think I'm going to find. I got it for 85 bucks for the RO and the DI part. But this is the thing. I live with well water. It's pretty rough water. And I produce this water. I don't have a TDS meter, so I can't scientifically prove any of this. But I have been using this water in the 10 gallon for 3 weeks, and it's been great. The 10 gallon is looking awesome. All the corals are super happy. The anemones expanded a whole lot. The zoas are opening up a little bit. But like everybody seems fine. Like I haven't noticed any difference between this and distilled water. I really haven't at all. And the thing is when in the 3 weeks I haven't been using the DI. I only use the DI for water changes because it exhausts really fast. So I've only been using the RO part for top off, which I've read is okay. It's a little bit of a mixed review online. So if you guys prefer just RODI straight, that's fine. I don't have any SPS in my tank right now, so if I had SPS, I'd definitely go only RODI for top off and water changes. But right now, it's more of an LPS system going on. But I went to the fish store and had them test my RO water for phosphates, and it tested fine, 0 phosphates for like the couple minutes after the test, like 4 or 5 minutes after the test, it was still fine. But like 10 minutes after they tested it, they still had the little tube sitting in there. And I looked at the tube, and it was like a chunky, like looking pasty stuff that had developed in the tube. And I don't know whether that's from my RO system, or from my water, or from how because I've had this RO water stored in a bucket for about a week, so maybe the bucket just had some nasty stuff in it. And I need to go buy a TDS meter just because without a TDS meter, I really don't know. I really can't check this at all. And I probably will get the BRS inline TDS meter or something. Right now, I just really tight on cash, so it's really hard to get what I need for this reef tank. I had to push just for the filter there and for the stuff, because it was 60 bucks total for the filter, the matrix, the Brightwell aquatic stuff, and then I got some new hermit crabs and a new coral frag for the 10 gallon. The coral frag's not anything too crazy, but I think you guys will really enjoy it when I show it to you in a couple days probably. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be awesome. Not telling you what it is because I want you to watch the freaking video. So make sure you watch the video. Definitely leave a like though, guys. That's basically everything you guys have missed in the past like 2 or 3 weeks throughout the holidays. Hope you guys had a great Christmas and Happy New Year's, guys. So just enjoy your reef tanks. Definitely comment below. Send me a link to your videos, your channels. Tell me about your reef tanks. I'd love to talk about them. I try and respond to you guys as much as I can. And just thanks for watching, guys. Check out my Instagram. It is Reef Life. And thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.